particular SDLC. And apart from this one, so we have been already also discussed about slightly about the different environments we have been discussed, different environments in the IT industry. Okay, so these are the topics which we went in detail and then we have been discussed. And today we have been planned for the first topic which we wanted to discuss about it is the methodologies, and then we wanted to discuss about the levels of testing. So these are the things which we wanted to discuss for today. So that is what we have been part for today. And to talk about this particular methodologies, now what are the different type of methodologies we do have?
White box testing, black box.
Black box testing, white box testing,
Hello,
gray
Kumar.
box testing.
So what are the different type of methodologies we have?
Functional testing and non-functional testing, sir.
So we wanted to talk about the testing methodologies. Alok, you're there? Unmute yourself and say that if you don't know something, yes or no, something you need to answer, right?
Yes, sir.
So testing methodologies are two types. There is a functional testing and
Okay,
non-functional
funny.
testing.
Go ahead.
I mean,
Anya, are you speaking?
Yeah, I'm speaking. Is it audible? Hello. Hi,
Lavanya,
Krish.
Suresh.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I doesn't know about methodology. Yesterday, I
Sir,
couldn't
can I-
able to search.
Hello?
Sir.
Are you speaking, Lavanya?
Yes, sir. Sir, I doesn't know about methodology, sir.
Geeta?
Sir, are you hear me? Hello?
You people are able to hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
I'm able to hear
Yes, sir.
you, sir. My voice is clear. Hello?
Yes, we can able to hear.
Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yes, Geeta. I'm able to hear. I think Fish lost the connection. Eventually, he'll come back.
Yeah.
So now you people are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Chris, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. So previously I'm not able to hear it. So if people started answering it, I didn't listen it. Yeah. So who were speaking last? So Geeta, you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, in testing methodologies, we have two types, functional testing and non-functional testing. Functional testing, again, there are some types of testing like unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. In non-functional testing, we have a performance testing, security testing, and compatibility testing.
Okay. So what is testing methodologies, Jayashree?
So methodology types is 6 types: unit testing, integration testing, functional testing, smoke testing, regressional testing, acceptance testing.
Bashir Ali?
Yes, sir. Hello?
What do you mean by yes?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. I'm looking for the answer.
I think agile model and waterfall model is the software methodology, software testing methodology, sir. And
Rashid, did you gone through the topic at least once?
Yes, sir.
actually, this is my first class, sir. This is my first class. Yesterday class I revent, sir.
Asif, Sheikh Asif.
Levels of testing, acceptance testing, unit testing, functional testing, integration testing, sir.
Asif, what is my question? What is my question?
Methods of testing, sir.
Then when I'm asking for the methodologies of testing, so when you are answering the levels of testing, so those are two different topics, right?
Yes, sir.
Venkatesh R. Sudhir Kumar. Sudhir, you there? Tejashwini.
Yes, Krish.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Methodologies are nothing but an approach to develop an application in different platforms. Here we have two types of testings, manual and automation. In manual, there are three types of testings, white box testing, black box, and the gray box. That's it, Krish.
Okay. Seems when I was talking to all, so I'm feeling that you people are not spending the time here, because if you have been spend the time, that would be reflected here. See, we asked you to spend 1 hour to 2 hours, but at least a half an hour is also at least not 10 to 15 minutes. You are not spending the time on this. You have the video repositories, you have the topics, and I'm asking you to specifically say that, hey, these are the topics you need to prepare and come back. In spite of being saying this all information, also you are not preparing and coming for the session. If I'm asking the questions, you are not unmuting yourself, or some people will be dropping for this, or first 15-20 minutes anyways this guys will asking me the question, so that I'll not attend for first 10 to 15 minutes so that I can join later. And I'm asking one question and you're giving me another question answer. What is the problem? Why people are not preparing and coming in? See, we clearly informed the topics, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And then we are clearly informing that videos, everything is available there. So now when you have these topics and the videos there, why can't you spend 30 minutes on this one to see these videos and then come back to the session? What is your problem? Every day I should waste this time to explain you on these particular things? See, I clearly informed, see, what we promise, we will be keeping it. And what you need to promise, you need to keep this. See, now you've seen it, right? So from 68, we came for 35. And very soon we'll be getting it to 10 also. Even if there is one candidate, I'll continue the same session with the same tempo, same. But that particular candidate who is really interested, for them, will do it. If you guys really feeling that it is not really useful or worth it, we never ask the people to come and join for this one. So it is up to you. If you wanted to continue the session, you can continue or not continue. It's up to you. But only ultimately, what is the point here is, we given the instructions we need to follow for this. And moving further, your life would be much more horrible. So because every day you need to do the, means once we went to Java coding, everyone should stay at the screen and then they need to explain the code. So prepare yourself. So once again, I'm saying that, so if you're not preparing and then coming back to the session and then saying these wrong answers or completely deviated answers, that is not encouraged. I'm telling you, right, we don't want at the count. Even one person is there, I'll continue the sessions. I'll leave it to you people. And even if I see the same thing from tomorrow, so we will note the names, and then definitely we will disqualify the people from the teams. You'll definitely see very soon. Definitely we will, means at least we will keep our words for sure. Okay, so coming back to testing methodologies. See, when you go and then search in the Google or internet, you'll be having lots and lots of links and lots of information on this one. So that is the reason we have been specified to follow you the specific videos. And it is not that for we are getting a reviews or we will be getting a views or something else. We least care about that. See, just to only for this, what we wanted to do is you should be in line with the course so that it is better so that you can view. And already we have been told you that. So there are many legends in the market. They can train much more better than us. Even you can see those particular videos also come back. But we need to follow certain standards. So according to this particular IEEE and ISO standards, so we will be talking about this particular testing methodologies. So when it comes to the testing methodologies, why you people are talking about development methodologies? We have been completed. See, now we are not conducting the development course, right? We are purely talking from the testing methodologies. So now you need to focus on the testing point of view only, not from the development methodologies. See, we have been discussed about SDLC and what are the different type of models in the SDLC. So these are the things which we have been discussed, because we need to know that what are the different type of SDLCs, where the testing will come and how this particular testing behaves in different models. So that is what we have been discussed in the first set. Now the second part of this one, so now we purely entered into the SDLC. And as part of the SDLC, now we will be purely talking from the manual testing concepts. So now when it comes to this, means when the people asked you the approaches, see now there would be a different definitions in the market. Once again, I'm saying that if you go for one URL, they'll say that if you ask for the approaches, they'll be saying if you type the testing approaches, they'll be talking about a manual approach and the automation approach. When you talk about the methodologies, they talk about the manual and automation. So it would be confusing. So that's the reason we are asking you to go through the videos which we have been given according to the standards of this one. If you follow that videos, you can understand that one. And it's not care about it. So not only this one, you can go for any other things. Because when I'm asking the methodologies, the people are telling me the levels of testing or the types of testing. So these are different topics altogether. Don't get into these particular topics now. So the most important, we need to first follow on this particular topic. Let's complete this one, then you can think about anything else. Coming to the testing methodologies. The name itself, it was saying that testing methodologies means what are the different type of methods which we will be following to do the testing. So here, prominently, we would be having three categories of testing methodologies. The first category is black box. Next category is white box. Next category is gray box. Actually, we have another boxes also, like we have yellow box, red box, these all, but those are not prominent, and then those are not standardized procedures or methodologies which we need to follow it. And that is not defined into the standards. So according to the standards, we have three testing methodologies. So what are those testing methodologies is white box, black box, and the gray box. Let me talk about first white box testing. And then I'll go for different thing. See, now I was really worried to ask you the questions also. So because if I'm asking you the questions, so I know that you people are not answering me and I'll be wasting the time of all the people. Is this the thing which you are creating to me? So coming to the white box testing. So now when it comes to white box, so this white box testing have different names also. So this will be called as glass box testing or clear box testing. So they have different synonyms. Synonyms means different names, but all these things refer to the white box only. What is white box testing? Now for an example, let me take any examples. Now let's take Swiggy, so that it will be very easy to remember these methodologies. When you talk about testing methodologies, you can remember Swiggy. Okay. Now, Swiggy, we have two different type of applications. Okay, so here we will be talking about another very important topic, which is application types and architectures. So this is very important topic which we are going to discuss very soon, because as the hierarchy comes, I'll be coming one by one topic and then we'll be talking about it. Okay, so now here we have, coming back to this example, Swiggy. So now here we do have two different type of applications, right? What are the two different type of applications? One is web application and one is mobile application, mobile app. So mobile app is nothing but the app which you used in your mobile phones. This is called mobile apps, and the application which you have been using in your desktops or your laptops, then this is called your web applications, right? Web applications and mobile apps. Till here we are clear. Now, when you wanted to host, the developer, what they have been done, they taken the requirements, they have been analyzed this one, they designed this one, they have been implemented this one, implemented or then the coding, right? So means what would means here, when we have a particular application, we will be having two different things. One is front end and the back end. Means front end, which is nothing but we will see with your naked eye. So means the application when you open, so you'll be seeing that particular front end application, right? Searching the restaurants and then selecting the food. So whatever the food you wanted to select. So those all things you'll be seeing it in the front end. There would be a back end. Means for an example, I think one of your team member has been shared one particular picture, so relevant to this front end and back end. So one of the restaurant example they have been given it, right? So now in the restaurant you will be seeing, means you went for a restaurant and you have been ordered some dosa or some biryani or whatever you wanted to order, you have ordered. Now inside the kitchen they will prepare all the things and then they will come and then serve it into the front end, means to this server, means for the client. Okay, so now inside the kitchen they made the cooking and everything. We will not see that. So now they will be preparing the different ingredients, mixing of it, boiling of it, cooking of it. They do everything and then they will give you the end product directly to you, what you have been asked for. Whether you have been asked for idli or dosha or you're asked for biryani, you'll be getting that particular thing to the front end. So now this is called front end, and in the back end they will be performing certain operations. So now what it will happen in the back end means, for an example, you have given the request that, hey, fetch me the hotels. So now this particular thing, it will go to the back end, get all those particular data, and then it will come and then present you in the front end. In this particular hotels, you click on this one, it will go inside and show me the menu. So now once again, this request will go back and get that particular data of menu. For an example, I have different hotels. Now when I have been seen Bawarchi, now I selected the Bawarchi so that it will go and get the data relevance to the Bawarchi. So what are the foods we will be having it? So those particular food will be displayed over here. So now once we have this particular thing, so I selected one particular menu. So immediately that will be going once again giving a request back. Hey, these are the items selected. And then you'll go for the payment and you do the payment and then it will go to the backend. So now this would be like a back and forth. It would be moving to the front end and the back end. To do this particular front end and back end, so we do have certain concepts called APIs, microservices. So those all things would be there. So anyhow, I don't want to talk about all those things now. Okay, so now this is how this is, means the application would be segregated, means the front end and the back end. As of now, if you understand this particular concept, that is enough for us. Okay, you take any particular application, so web application, mobile application, so you can see that mobile application, web application. So these are the applications, right? App is nothing but shortened form of application. Mobile app, web app, or mobile application, web application. So that's the shortened forms. Now we have front end and we have back end, right? Now front end, back end. Now black box testers. Okay, we are talking about the white box, right? Now let me first complete the white box and come to the black box. White box testers, what they will do is they will be knowing the internal structure of coding, and they will test according to that particular internal structure of coding, then those people are called as white box testers. Means now you can see it, right? Internal structure of coding. So now if you see here, we have been there, right? So now requirement analysis, designing and coding. Who would be knowing the internal structure of the coding? So whether the developers will know this one or the testers will know this one.
Developers.
Developers only.
Developers.
Obviously they will be knowing about it because they developed this particular application. They will be understanding the internal structure of that particular code and test that particular application. Then this is called white box application, white box testing. So now, actually speaking, you can see that this is back end, right? And this is front end, right? We will be having the developers for developing the back end. Even for developing of the front end also, we should have the developer, right? So you are seeing the UI UX. UI UX means UI, user interface, user graphics. So means user means this will be calling as GUI. So graphical user interface. So now either UI or GUI. So both are same. Now even the front end also we have the developers. But these particular front end developers will develop only front end. So these are specialists in the designing in the front end. Now we have the back end. So back end people are specialists in this developing the back ends. They will be using the different languages. Like so we have different languages, right? So means for example, now we have different languages to speak to spoke. So like for an example, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, Marathi, Kannada, Malayalam, or Hindi, whatever the languages we have it. See now this is to communicate between two persons, right? So if I wanted to communicate to a person, so I should know that particular language so that we can talk and then we can understand. But when you are speaking to a computer, now how the computer will understand that? So for that one, we do have certain languages. So those languages are Java, Python, C#, Golang, R. So there are different languages we have. So what human speaks, so that need to be understandable by the systems. So for that one, so we have been defined these particular languages, which is Java, Python, C#, all these particular languages, right? So now for that particular thing, for the particular purpose, they've created this particular backend with a different languages, either with Java, C#, Ruby, PHP. So with a different set of languages, they'll be developing this one. Now, once they develop that particular code, they will be understanding that particular code and they will be testing at a code level, understanding the internal structure of that particular code based upon that particular requirements. They will test that particular internal code, then that is called white box testing. Either in the front end, the front end developer, he develops this particular application with a different codes and frameworks. Now, when he have been done with this one, he will be writing that code, right? So that he would be understanding.
చేయడు అసలు మేము ఇద్దరు థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ ఒక్కటే ఉంటుందా ఇద్దరు మ్యాచింగ్ వేసుకొస్తున్నాము వాళ్ళు కావాలని వేసుకొస్తున్నా ఎట్లా అని అంటూ
కావాలని వేసుకొస్తున్నాడు అన్న
మరి ఏమన్నా
ఒకేలా థింక్ చేస్తాను
అదే మరి కావాలన్నా
నేను నా కలర్ డ్రెస్ వేసుకుంటా ఏడుకొచ్చా మార్నింగ్ డ్రెస్ వేసుకున్నా
Geeta or Deepthi, who is this? You know, if they are really interested about the other things or on the dresses, let them go and talk to them, not to hear in the sessions. Remove them from the batch immediately.
Sir, I'm not unmuted the call, sir.
I'm talking about who has been done for them.
It's not me, sir. Sorry.
Pina, just take them and then remove from them group.
Yeah, no, I'm removing.
So here, when it comes to this particular white box testing, okay, so sorry guys, I'll be really distracting with the smallest things. So that's the reason I was keeping the highest attention when I was saying the classes. So try to understand and concentrate on this. See, now when we are asking you not to share your videos means that is on your privacy. On that one, that's the reason we are not doing this. But just you are not concentrating here and not hearing to this one, then what is the point of spending this much of time here? How we should feel about this? Are you understanding our pain? Or who are you all people to me? So now when we are doing this one for you people, so is it not your responsibility to concentrate on this? If you wanted to talk and do the things, you do separately. It's not in the code in this particular time, right? Don't waste your time and then make other time wasted, right? At this point of time, is it really important for you to talk all these things? After your sessions, you can talk anything, right? Or don't join for the session. Or at least a minimum common sense to keep in the mute. Okay, so coming to this particular white box. So now we will be having the front-end developers and the back-end developers. Now these particular developers, whoever written that particular code, so they will go to the internal structure of the code and then test that particular code in from the coding point of view. Then these people are called as a white box testers or the white box testing methodology. So now this white box testing methodology would be conducted by the white box testers. So because you need to understand that in the job description, they will be clearly mentioning that, hey, we required white box testers. Means they need to go to the internal part of the code and they'll be testing on this one. The internal part of the code would be testing on this. So now who would be doing this one? So this would be tested by the testers. So now we have to be very much cautious and clear in this one. So when we see a white box tester or a white box testing means that, so they will be going to the internal part of the code, either it is in the front end, either it is in the back end, they will go to this particular thing and then they'll be testing on this. So this is called white box testing, and white box testing would be conducted by the white box testers, which are prominently developers. Now, what would be the black box testing? See now, for an example, now we have been taking this particular example, right? Swiggy. Now the Swiggy has been developed this particular mobile applications and the web applications. Now, from the coding point of this particular Swiggy application, if it is testing that one, so this is called a white box testing, and that would be conducted by the white box testers or the developers. Now, black box testing. See, black box testing is nothing but from the mobile app. Okay, now we will be testing this particular mobile app. What we are going to testing? So first thing, I'll be testing the login functionality of Swiggy. Whether I can log into this one thoroughly or not. Or once after logging in, searching for the restaurants, I can search for this particular restaurants or not. Or once after searching for this, I'll be selecting a particular restaurant and placing an order. I'm able to place it or not. And then I'll be doing the payment for this one, whether the payment is successfully going or not. So these all things would be happen. So I'll be testing this particular application based upon the functionality and the requirement. Or you can, now you may confusing about the functionality, right? Anyways, we'll talk about that one later. Based upon the requirement of that particular application, if you are testing this particular application without having any knowledge from the coding point of view, It doesn't really matter from the coding. So how it is done from the coding point of view, but we'll be verifying that one from the front end, validating based upon the requirement. And this is called black box testing. And black box testing, the black box testing will be done by the black box testers. The black box testers are nothing but we all are black box testers. QA, QC, software test engineers, or whatever it might be. So these all people, we all fall into the black box testing. So now how you need to define this definition? So without having the internal coding structure, testing an application based upon the requirements which we have it, then that particular testing is called as a black box testing. And black box testing will be done by the QA or the test engineers. QA means not quality assurance, it is quality analyst. So quality controllers, quality analyst, and then we have software test engineers or whatever it might be. So these are the engineers who would be testing this particular application and then delivering the output to the respective client. So this is called as black box testing. So white box testing would be done by the developers. Black box testing would be done by the QA and the testers. So this is the generic derivation which you need to do from this particular point of view. Now, okay, let me give you a pause. Any questions on this one?
No, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
What do you mean by black box testing or white box testing? Okay, fine. Now, go ahead.
Hi, Chris. For the white box testers, the environment would be same as a development.
See, as we discussed yesterday, we'll be having a different environments. For an example now, let me cover this different environments also so that you can understand this pointer. Now this is development environment. This is QA environment. This is staging environment. And this is production environment. Now, on this development environment, 5 developers are working on it. Now, this developer completed his development and he wanted to try to do the testing on this. Okay, he wanted to test his code. Now, when he was testing this particular code, this remaining 4 people are making the changes for the same code base, right? Will it be possible that he can test thoroughly here for the developer 1?
No, sir.
This is not possible because these all people will be making the changes. And this guy, he made his change and then he wanted to test this one. This will be not the possible way because as soon as he wanted to test it, this guy made some change. Because this is entirely one application, right? Independently, you people are working on it, but still if you wanted to test this one, so that would be not possible in the development environment. So if you wanted to test even the development code or anything, so that need to be pushed into the QA. So here it is stable. No developments will be done. Overall development piece, see now they develop this one and they will push the code here and they will test it here. If any failures are there, they will revert it back to here. See now what they will give the build number 1. Build number 1, these people are working, these people will be testing it. In the meantime, these people will be working in the build 2. And if there is any particular issues in the build number 1, they will send it back. They'll fix it in the build number 2 and they will release the build number 2. Then they'll start to work on build number 3. And these guys will testing on the functionalities of build number 1 failures, plus they'll be working on the build number 2 functionalities also. And if there is any particular failures or anything, they will be sending it back. So this is how this particular cycle will be rotating it. But to answer your question, by this itself, you will be getting the answer. So if any particular developer wanted to test their code in the development environment, that is not right. Because if he started to test this one, other developers might be impacted because of that one. Or because of the other developers, his code might be impacted. So that is the reason this is not the idealistic way of doing the testing in the development environment. Everyone need to push into the QA because you'll be having the stable builds. You need to test all the categories of testings in the this one staging environment only. Even though that's a code level testing, but that should be a stable environment to test. Always you need to remember. So this is what the first prerequisite which we wanted to have. The prerequisite is stable environment for testing. If you don't have that stable environment, you can't test that particular application at all. See, every time you are opening an application, it is navigating to the home page. When you're doing the login page, it was failing. And then once again, you are opening that particular page in the URL itself, it was getting failed. It is not even go to the login. And next time when you are trying it, it is going to the login and then it was working fine. So can you test these type of applications? Probably you can't do it because it is not stable. Sometimes it is working, sometimes it is not working. Then there is no point of testing that application, right? Let make stable and then I'll test it, or else whatever the efforts which you're keeping it, it will be gone waste. So that's the reason. So always it need to be tested in a stable environment. Then only it would be tested. So now that is the reason we will make all the changes. If this particular cycle will runs, and once the build 1 and build 2 is stable, then it will be moved to the staging. And in this particular staging environment, so this build 2 will be tested thoroughly. And if it is having any bugs, once again, it will send it back. Or else if everything is good, looks good, then it will be pushed to production. So this is how the ball will be moving from the different environments to the productions. Any questions? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thanks, Krish. Which means developers will come to the testing environment.
See, now it's not about coming to this one. So this, for example, now I wanted to test this particular environments, how it would be means QA underscore Swiggy, dev underscore Swiggy.com. Now staging underscore Swiggy, production Swiggy.com. If I'm navigating to this URL, so that is what my QA environment. If I'm navigating to this, this is my development URL. This is what my staging URL. Based on your URL itself, it will be pointing. For us, it doesn't really matter. But what it may be happening is behind the screen, they will be keeping a separate server for this. So now this is the QA server where they store the complete code and everything, the stable version code. And this is development. They will be having separate server where they will be keeping this particular code. And this is for staging and this is for production. They'll be having separate servers, but we will not know anything. So just what we will do, we will give an appending for this one, QA underscore Swiggy or dev underscore Swiggy, staging underscore Swiggy, or so production URL Swiggy.com, so that it can be navigated to that. And then according to that particular navigation, so that it will point to, see now the pointing of this one to this particular respective server, so that they'll get that latest code. So now these two environments would be always, it would be different. So this would be like -1. Always the QA environments would be like a -1 because they will be doing a development code and then they push to the QA environment. But now they will be having once again the developed code. So always you'll be having a -1 data into the QA environments for the testing. So now it will be tested, and from here it will be moved to the staging and then productions. So this is how this will be there in our environments, and then it will be tested back. So these two topics, anyways, I'll try to cover up for as soon as possible for tomorrow, because you'll understand it thoroughly before going to the next things. So one is the types of applications and then the environments. So in detail, so that these are tied up together so that you can understand it thoroughly, so that we can discuss on this particular topics tomorrow. Okay, so now coming back to here. Now this is what the black box testing and then white box testing we have been understood, and then who are going to do this particular black box testing and then white box testing we have been understood, and then the gray box testing. So now the gray box testers, the gray box testing is nothing but it is a combination of the black box plus the white box. Means the tester who is going to test this one, they should able to have the internal structure coding knowledge to test internally, Plus they should able to know the external functionality to test from the external point of view based upon the requirements. So this is called gray box testing. So the gray box testers in the market, they are called as SDETs, software developer, engineer, and the tester. So these particular roles are paid a little bit higher when compared to these particular roles, because white box testers purely belongs to the development team, black box testing belongs to the testing team. Now it is a combination of the both, means he will wear certain time as a developer, certain time he will be wearing the cap of the tester, and then he will be testing that particular application. So this is how these particular SDET roles are there in the market. So now I think this is older trend, speaking frankly, because before this is 10 to 15 years. So when we entered into the market at that time, this is very popular. So the SDET roles, especially from Google, Microsoft, they have been released this particular set of roles who can do the development, and then parallelly they wanted to do it with testing. So those are the set of people they have been looked for, because that's a T-shaped skill. So T-shaped skill means testing they will be doing it, developing also they will be doing it. So parallelly, perpendicularly, so they should able to work on it. So that's the reason they will be paid high in the market also. So these are the three different categories when it comes to this particular methodologies point of view. So testing methodologies are nothing but, so we do have three different categories of methodologies, which is white box testing, black box testing, gray box testing. To give a quick recap, white box testing is nothing but, so without having the complete internal coding knowledge and understanding and testing that particular application from the coding point of view, then this is called white box testing, and white box testing will be done by the white box testers who are developers. And coming to the black box testing, without having any internal coding knowledge or structure, testing the application from the external point of view the requirements and deriving the particular requirements for the testing. So then these people are called, then this is called as a black box testing, and a black box testing would be done by the black box testers who are regular testing team. And gray box testing is nothing but, so this is having the combination of both white box and black box. Doing means that the tester who have the knowledge from the internal coding structure does that internal testing of the code, plus from the external point of view, understanding the complete requirements of the application and testing the complete application from the testing point of view. Then these guys are called as the gray box testers. So this is how this particular testing methodology has been classified into three sections, and these particular three sections would be having the prominence of different things. Okay, so this is called testing methodologies. And the next important topics which it will be followed by the testing methodologies is levels of testing and then types of testing. What we will try to do is, in the levels of testing itself, we will be having the types slightly, not all the types we'll be discussing about it, but at least what are the required levels which it is required. So we'll be talking as part of levels. Okay, so these are the two topics we will be merging and discussing, so which it is really very important to understand from the manual testing concepts. See, I'm stressing out this is important. This is important. So prepare well for these particular concepts. But for tomorrow, our topic, we will be talking from the point of different type of applications and then the different environments. Already we have been touched yesterday and today on this particular environments, but how the things it works in the environments in detail, we will talk about this one for 10 to 15 minutes and spend amount on this particular different type of applications which we have it. So these two topics we will discuss, and then we will be coming to these particular levels of testing and then types of testing. So this would be the hierarchy which we need to follow so that you can have the interlinking. As I told you, at last we will be connecting all these particular dots, but as of now you need to learn them as a independent dots and then prepare it and then come back for the sessions. And once again I'm saying it, so if I'm asking tomorrow once again questions, so not unmuting yourself, coming up with any stories or not talking to it or asking one question giving the different answers, don't do that. Spend 30 minutes or maximum 1 hour to complete this particular, all this topic and this topics. You have all the videos are available. look at into the videos, or else you can go anywhere. It is not that you need to see that and then do that. You can see anywhere, prepare, and then come for the session for tomorrow. So the topics we'll be talking on different type of applications, environments, and the levels of testing and the types of testing. So this would be our hierarchy of learning things for tomorrow. Any questions or any pointers from this particular testing methodologies?
Chris, do we need to perform testing in all the environment like staging, staging also, production also?
Absolutely right. See now, definitely we have a team that production testing, prod testing. So now this is called blue gray deployment. So actually this might confuse for others. To give you the answer, it is yes, you need to test this one. For an example, so tomorrow what I'll try to do is I'll cover this particular topic in the environment. To give the straightforward answer, if you have one single functionality, that particular one functionality need to be tested in the QA environment, staging environment, and then even in the development environment also. It need to be tested in all the places. So that is called production testing, prod testing. And you'll be having monitoring also. See, for an example, now this is development. From the development, it came to the QA environment. And from here, it went to the staging environment. And from here, it will go to the production. So now my functionality, what we have been developed, the new functionality is changing the password to the OTP in the login functionality that this particular people will be developed. They push that particular code to the QA environment. So they're pushing the code from this environment to this environment. They will call this one as a deployment. Now in the QA environment, we will be testing this particular functionality. We will be testing across the different browsers and all the things we'll be doing it. And now once after this one, we'll move this one to the staging. So in the staging, we will test everything and make sure that everything is working. And then we'll be moving to the production. In the production also, we will test this one, because without testing, if there is anything happen, so immediately if there is a bug, then we will send it back to the staging. So this is called, this concept is called as rollback. The name itself, it was saying that rollback. So means you are rolling back the code. So from the production, we are moving back to this one. And once we tested this one, and then we will monitor this one. So this is called prod monitoring. So we have a lot of teams, means the complete DevOps teams will be depending on this. DevOps means development operations team. So previously we used to have the SCM teams, software configuration management teams. Now they have been renamed to the DevOps. So these people, they do the production testing and then production monitoring also, means whether it is consistently working fine or not. If there is any particular issues, they'll be doing it. But in production testing, even our testing team only will be involved. So in the QA environment, in the staging environment, in the prod testing also, we will be involved into this, and then we'll be testing here. So this is how a particular code which we have been developed will move to the production, and in the production also we'll be doing the testing.
Okay. And also one question, like one interviewer asked, where is your application deployed? So I told it is on server. Then he was like, which server? So I was not able to answer.
See, now this, see, now you need to understand, you know, when someone is asking this particular question, so you need to be detailing down that particular question. So whether his intention of understanding this, whether it is in on-prem or on cloud. So now when you given the server may be in on premises or on the cloud. So he wanted to understand this particular information. You wanted to know that whether it is deployed in on-prem or on cloud, or what is the server configuration, or the server means it is like a Tomcat, or because we have different servers where this particular application would be deployed, whether it is in NUnit or the Tomcat server or Apache server. So which server he was looking. So the name of that particular server he is looking, or we can deploy into the Windows server. So which server name he was looking at it, or the location of that particular server, whether it is in on premises or on the cloud. So that is what you need to drill down the question. So you need to ask him, hey, are you looking for the location of the server or the name of the server which you want to do? So that is what you need to ask.
Okay. And when he tells asks the location, we need to tell where exactly it is deployed. Region, right?
Yes, region of that particular server. So whether it is in the Asian specific or it is in, we'll be having the global regions, right? The Asia, Europe, or South Africa. So where it is South Africa. So where it is there, so you need to say that one. So because they wanted to know, so the servers based upon that, they will be asking the questions. So how your disaster recovery will work on, or how you will be doing this particular prod code test, or how your code would be moved to the different geographical locations. So these probably, that might be the mindset of asking that questions, but I don't know what is a point of asking that one there.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. It is helpful.
Okay, any other questions or any other pointers? Okay, then fine. Thank you. Have a great day. See you all tomorrow. But once again, I'm saying that prepare, then only come to the session.